po nating speaker ay isang napaka-simple at humble na tao, isang public servant na kahit siya ay galing sa kilala at isa sa mga influensyang angkan dito sa Pilipinas. Siya lang naman po ang the only son and namesake of the Senate President, Juan Ponce Enrile. Palakpakan po natin. And the mention po, he is one of the strongest allies of domestic workers in Congress, being the author of the Magna Carta for domestic workers. So friends, to share with us the salient features of the Magna Carta for domestic workers, it is my honor to introduce to you the representative of the 1st District of Cagayan Province, the Honorable Jack Enrile.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Sa mga tiga Luzon, Northern Luzon, naimbag nga bigat kada kayo amin kung may mga Ilocano po dito. Sa ating mga kasamang Bisaya, mahimuntang sa tanan. Bago lahat, gusto ko lang batiin ang ating mga kasama nating mga panelists dito, si Ms. Prudence Mooney ng ILO, palakpakan po natin siya. Si Atty. Hans Leo J. Cacdac, the Undersecretary from the Department of Labor and Employment. Papatiin ko rin ang ating mga kasama at kaibigan na matagal na namin ipinaglalaban itong batas kasambahay na ito, ang mga miyembro at mga leaders po ng Visayan Forum Foundation. At kasama po natin sa Sumaki, samahan at ugnayan ng mga magagawang pantahanan sa Pilipinas. Before I give my speech, just to put this in perspective, when we started this in late 1998, early 1999, Cecil and I were meeting, and we were much younger then. We were much younger then. Just to put this in perspective, I was on my first term as a neophyte congressman in the House of Representatives. I had 3 children, 3 girls, tatlong Maria, and part of the motivation was, since most of our domestic helpers are women, if at some point in the future they find themselves not being in the fortunate position in life, I would have wanted that there would be a law in place that would have protected them. If that were the path that their lives would take. Fortunately, they're well taken care of. Since then, fortunately, Cecil, I don't know if you know this, I have had already a son. My son is 11 years old. I have also a grandson. He is also 11 years old, and yet batas kasambahay has not yet been passed. So, it has been a while, it has been a long struggle. And hopefully, within this 15th Congress, we will see some fruits there as a result of our efforts. Before I start my speech this morning, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincerest appreciation to my good friend, Miss Cecilia Flores Obanda. Palakpakan po natin. The President and Executive Director of the Visayan Forum Foundation for graciously inviting me to speak before you today in this National Domestic Workers Summit. To my fellow speakers, guests, delegates, my warmest greetings to one and all. As many of you very well know, I initially drafted the Magna Carta for domestic workers, or Batas Kasambahay, the first time I was elected as congressman of the 1st Legislative District of Cagayan in 1998. It was admittedly a difficult effort that was made possible with the assistance and collaboration of Cecilia and the Visayan Forum Foundation. It was only our misfortune that the Batas Kasambahay was completed during a turbulent period in our country's history, which eventually saw the impeachment of a sitting president and the recurrence of the people power phenomenon in EDSA. because of the tumultuous events that accompanied its filing, the Batas Kasambahay became a victim of the times and was relegated to the back burner of our country's legislative process. They say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We took the first step to uphold the rights and to protect the interests of our kasambahay 13 long years ago. It was, they say, a legislative measure that was way ahead of its time. Maybe so, ladies and gentlemen. But as I stand here before you this morning, it is with the firm belief that the time for the Batas Kasambahay has now come. Up until now, only a very few people knew the real reason why I took pains to draft this landmark piece of legislation. It was for a very intimate, personal reason. Let me share with you the story. I was born into a family that is deeply involved in public service. My father, Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, si Gusto Ko Happy Ka, kilala ba niya? Has been in public service now for about 46 years. For almost all of my life, my father has placed the interests of our country first, even before his own family. As a young boy, it was all too often duty first before we can even play ball or spend some quality time together. I am the eldest of two kids in a family. Uso na sa amin po doon yung RH, hindi lang maanong si Senate President. And I grew up seeing a lot of people spending time with my father, except me, going to our house at odd times during the day and evening, even on weekends, and of him reading a lot of books and being immersed in a tremendous amount of work. In those years, it seems, I had only my yaya with me. Yay, as I fondly called her. She used to call me Hans. Hans for short for handsome boy. She took care of me, scolded me when I was disobedient, and praised me when I did some good. To a certain extent, if I may confess, I listened more to my yai than to my parents because she had all the time in the world to look after me. You know, this morning I was rummaging through some old photos of me, trying to look for a picture of Yai to bring with me. And I found one, but it's overtaken. I left it at home. It was my only picture of my first day at home from the hospital. And guess who was holding me in that picture? It wasn't my mom. It wasn't my dad. It was Yai. Yai was the reason why I filed the Magna Carta for domestic workers. The Batas Kasambahay was a very personal matter for me, as this was my way of saying thank you for her when I became a congressman in 1998. Yai has since passed away. In fact, she was there the first day I came home from the hospital, and she died on my 49th birthday. But I continue to hold myself to the promise I made to take good care of her. Yai may no longer be with me today, but I fully intend to keep my promise. If no longer to her, then to those others like her who spent almost the entirety of their lives taking care of other people. Domestic workers are the invisible engines of any economy, whether in the Philippines, Hong Kong, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, the United States, or the United Kingdom. They are everywhere, in any household, in every community. It has been said as early as 2004 that Hong Kong's often ignored and sometimes maligned foreign domestic workforce contributed as much as 13 billion Hong Kong dollars to the Hong Kong economy annually, more than 1% of its total gross national product. And that was some 7 years ago. Just imagine what we can do if we can only harness such a collective resource. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Such a resource base can very well lead to a new world order. Countries will have to treat their domestic workers fairly and equitably, or else their economies will suffer once these domestic workers collectively act and summarily leave a nation. In the Filipino culture, our kasambahays are treated more than just domestic workers. They are considered to be practically an integral part of the Filipino household, just like in the case of Yai, a member of our extended family. There are an estimated 600,000 to 2.5 million kasambahays in our country today. How much more in other countries where the caring values of the Filipino domestic worker are likewise exemplified? What is their profile? Some 1.9 million of these are 15 years old and above, with those living in households that they serve accounting for some 30%. Women outnumber men 4 to 1. They render about 52 hours of work per week, or an average of 8.8 hours a day. Our big cities host most of them with an average basic pay of 133 pesos and 20 centavos for men per day, and 123 pesos and 20 centavos for women per day. We need the Batas Kasambahay right now to get their rights protected. It has been determined that the top 5 overseas destinations for our domestic workers include Hong Kong, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. In Hong Kong alone, Filipino domestic workers account for some 48% of the nearly 285,000 registered foreign domestic workers, each of which will have an allowable wage set at some 3,740 Hong Kong dollars, or the equivalent of 20,800 pesos. A substantial portion of these foreign earnings, ladies and gentlemen, are not consumed by our Filipino domestic workers at their countries of work. These monies are remitted to their relatives in the Philippines and ultimately find their way to our country's international reserves. Our country, my dear friends, have been spared the worst of many a global financial crisis because of the foreign exchange remittances of these domestic workers. Unfortunately, these foreign exchange remittances come with a heavy price. Abuses against domestic workers, both foreign and local, remain rampant, making our kasambahays one of the most vulnerable sectors in our society. Tao rin po sila. May mga problema din tulad natin. Kailangan po natin silang gabayan at tulungan. Kailangan po natin isulong ang batas kasambahay ngayon din. Look at the milestones. Our collective efforts have achieved since starting this in 1996, 1998, when we first filed, 1999, when things were really moving forward, 2000, when we were hoping that ERA would make this a priority bill, 2001, when the events of EDSA took place, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2009, and now 2011. Ilang beses nang muntik-muntikan maisabatas pero hindi natutuloy.
We hope that this time things will be different. The Senate has already passed their version of the Batas Kasambahay on its third and final reading. And the measure, which ironically first saw light at the House of Representatives, has been referred back to the House for almost a year now. In a hearing conducted by the House Committee on Labor last March, the Secretariat was instructed by the Chair, Congressman Emil Ong, to consolidate all 17 Kasambahay-related measures pending at the committee level. I thought that with the inclusion of the Batas Kasambahay among Malacanang's list of priority legislation, things would have moved along and we would have passed the measure before we go on Christmas break. Unfortunately, again, the Batas Kasambahay is still languishing at the committee level. I have made a number of personal appeals to the committee chairman, but to no avail. I am now compelled to instruct my technical staff to study whether we can invoke a motion to discharge in an effort to get the Batas Kasambahay moving through the legislative process. But before we do, I would like to make one last appeal to Committee Chair Emil Ong and House Speaker Sunny Belmonte. Kailangan ko po dito ang tulong niyo. Kailangan po natin mag-ingay at magparamdam. Lalo na ngayon na aprobado na po sa International Labour Organization ang usapang Batas Kasambahay. Naunahan na po tayo ng ILO kung saan napakahirap mailusot ang usapang tulad nito dahil sa magkasalungat na interes ng iba't ibang mga bansang kasali dito. Pero nagawa nila ang kailangan nilang gawin. Dito po sa atin, hindi ko alam kung bakit usad pagong pa rin. House Bill 553, which I have authored, may have differing provisions, but I am more than willing to adopt in toto the Senate version just so that we can get it out of our legislative bill and preclude a further bicameral delay. We are carefully studying this option, although ideally, it would be best to integrate some of the major provisions found in the ILO resolution. Ang tanong po sa akin ng mga kasama natin sa kamera, bakit po ba pinapamadali ang pagpapasa ng Batas Kasambahay? The ILO Convention provides added pressure and challenge for us to pass the Magna Carta for domestic workers. We have in truth and in fact committed ourselves to the convention and vowed to ratify it through the Batas Kasambahay. Matagal na po ang pagkikilos natin. Itinataya ko po ang pangalan Enrile dito sa usapang ito, di lamang para sa lahat ng kasambahay, pero para sa isang tao na nag-aruga sa akin mula pa nung aking pagkabata. Personal po ang laban na ito para sa akin. Surely, in this day and age, we should not be talking of emancipation, for that is way past our generation. Allow me, however, to paraphrase the words of one of the world leaders that I have studied and to this day admire, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. You may dislike the Batas Kasambahay and want it delayed, but I think differently. Para kay Jack Enrile, ang kasambahay ay di dapat isawalang bahala. Mabuhay ang mga kasambahay, mabuhay ang Visayan Forum, mabuhay ang Pilipino. Maraming salamat.